Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So, let's get on into the fact that Sharon's been buffed. She's an absolutely game-changing mobbing Descendant now. She's great. So let's give you the setup for Sharon. So, let's start off with her modules. For Sharon's modules, immediately, this is going to be an arena or area suppression build, sorry. So we're going with area suppression for our red module. Yeah, we'll be going with that in this instance, so area suppression should be what we are going to be going with for our red module. Main style mobbing build, you know what it is. Now, maneuvering, we are going with mid-air maneuvering. That should help us out with, getting around a little bit. Sharon's not the fastest Descendant in the game, but this should basically compensate for that, which is the main thing. Now, because we are going with a area suppression build, you want to have as much cooldown in it overall, just straight up. So we're going to be going with as much cooldown as we possibly can. So MP conversion is going to be the first thing we are going to be going with. Then we are going to go towards the blue module, and we're going to grab ourselves nimble fingers as well. Now for this, this isn't actually capped for cooldown, so we're just going to be pushing as much as we can. When we do look at Sharon's fourth ability, it is a fusion ability, and Sharon is an electric type Descendant, so we are going to be going with focus on fusion as well as focus on electricity. So there you go. That is going to be the main thing. Next up, let's focus on the range. Now, Sharon did get herself a nice little range buff, and with this, you can see here now the expandable range is 200%, so this is definitely going to help us out quite nicely with Sharon. Now, let's focus on the critical hit stuff, because Sharon does love hitting some nice juicy crits. We're going to go with Insight. This is of course for crit rate. We are also going to go with Front Lines, again for crit rate, and more so for crit damage. And then we are also going to be going with Skill Concentration for additional crit damage. Now, because of QOL, we are going with MP Collector. This can be dropped if you would really like it to be dropped, but in this instance, just because of quality of life, we are going to be going with MP Collector. Next up for Sharon, you've got two primary options. Option number one is Hyper Focus. Well, with this, you basically just need to shoot your weapon once in a while to give yourself 46% crit damage for 15 seconds, and then if you hit a crit with your Descendant skill, your firearms get buffed. So if you are willing to basically keep an eye on a hyper focus loop, then use hyper focus over here to dish yourself even more damage with Sharon. If you are not willing to do that, then absolutely use ambush instead. When you are invisible, this will basically give you 24% skill power, so it's not as high, but the damage is still going to be an increase. So I would say ambush with this instance with Sharon. Now, trigger module for Sharon. Power Beyond is just a straight up 15% increase, so this is what we are going to be going with this actual module setup. Now, there is more than one setup for Sharon, and I'm going to show you a second one later in this video after the gameplay. So that's something we'll get on into in a few minutes. As for now, this is the modules we are running with Sharon. Now, for the reactor and the weapon choices, you can see here we've got a scout rifle mounting on the reactor, so we are going to be going with the blue beetle as our main weapon stat stick, if you will, but you can absolutely DPS with this. We'll get on into that a little bit later. My second weapon of choice is going to be the last dagger, so we'll be going with the fire last dagger. And then for my third weapon, it's the malevolent, or if you don't have one, use the smithereens or something, and you should be good with that. Now for the substats on the reactor, electric fusion, of course we are using Sharon, and then you also have cooldown and crit damage on here. Now if you don't have these stats, which is completely okay, go with either cooldown fusion, but cooldown is the essential stat on here. You're definitely going to want cooldown for as much damage as you can get. So yeah, this is what you're going to want to go with. Now, external components, there's a few options with this as well, and like I said, I'm going to give you more than one setup. However, for time being, it's got to be the absolutely cracked Slayer set with Sharon yet again. Now, there is no alternative for this setup, surprisingly. You could go 2 pieces of Plague and 2 pieces of Mage, but even that I feel just doesn't have the same power as the Slayer set in this exact instance. For the substats you want on here, max HP, MP recovery out of combat, max MP, MP recovery in combat, MP recovery modifier is basically the main ones. Defense or electric resistance is good, and then also shield recovery modifier or toxic resistance should be all good over here. And your external component rolls. For your external component cores, you want max HP and defense across every single one of them, so that will give you the most survivability with your Sharon. Now, arcade tuning tree. With the tree for Sharon, it's fairly simple, I guess. So for this, we are going to be going with a damage tree, so you do want to go up here and grab yourself the damage there. We're going to go all the way up here, and then you're going to grab the cooldown from up here. You're going to go all the way to the crit damage, and then we're going to go all the way up to fusion and dimension tuning on this top node. Now you may be asking why fusion dimension tuning. It's because of the dimension skill cost being really good, and fusion also having a little bit of additional duration for Sharon's invisibility, and the skill cost is the more important one, I would say, but that is the reason we are using this mutant cell on Sharon. And remember that these effects can be activated multiple times. Spamming your 2 is going to give you better skill cost overall, which is the main thing that you are going to want. Now, for the weapons, let's have a quick look at this. You can use 2 sprint speeds on your Beetle if you would like more damage, more sprint speed, but I'm using 1 grapple so I can spider around with Sharon a little bit more. In hindsight, I think the sprint speed might be a little bit better. As for the actual modules on my Beetle, this is what I've gone with. It's a DPS style Beetle, so you can absolutely shoot with this. You can also go with fire rate at the top if you would like more fire rate and more damage out of the Beetle, but you're primarily going to be using Sharon in this instance. Next up, you can do this as well. For your last dagger, this is the stats that I have, and then with this is going to be a fire dagger. The reason for this is going to be specifically because of the fact that we want to be rotating elements inside of AXION to basically mix up the enemies. Using the same element, they will gain resistance to it and adapt to it, so this is the reason I'm going with 3 different elements. Then for my Malevolent, I'm going with full toxic on here, and then yeah, there you go, full toxic, basically what you'd expect out of the Malevolent anyways. Now let's have a look at the inversions. For the inversions, these are the 3 inversions I would recommend. The reason we're going with circulation tactic is because if you look over here, we're not at the full cap of the cooldown, and we want her second ability to cool down as fast as we can, so we can essentially spam this. Next up, a little bit of MP and a little bit of HP is going to be basically everything you want with Sharon. You could put on some of the resistances, but I don't see why you'd want anything other than pain suppression. So yeah, that is the setup that you guys are going to want to go with on Sharon. Now there is another setup, and I will show it you a little bit after I show you the gameplay for this. So let's go quickly run a crater, and then I will show you how good this is. And yeah, this is going to be fun, I can guarantee you that. Sharon is very capable, and I'll show you it. So immediately what you are going to want to do is go in with invisibility to get them off you and to get that damage buff. And you can see here already, you're hitting 800Ks right off the bat, over 1 million on your 4th ability. It's pretty scuffed. Now, yeah, you can see here we're already on the 2nd phase, and this is something I like doing in this phase. You can literally stand in this one position over here, and you can see here we're hitting over 300Ks on all of the mobs. You can just stand here, literally stand in one position and just spam your 4th ability and like completely deal with all of the mobs at their spawn. It's crazy how Sharon is just so strong with this setup. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. And just in general, running around and mobbing with this is really good. You basically just want to be spamming your 2 and then spamming your 4. You can use your 3 occasionally on any mobs that are annoying you and stuff like that as well. Hello buddy. Even this guy is a pretty good example of how Sharon doesn't really care. Once he's out of his immunity, you can literally just run circles around him. There you go, you can literally just run circles around him. And yeah, you're basically set. Once he pulls up over here, we'll start running circles around him. We just gotta deal with his front first. Okay, move it out of the way. Anyway, let's focus on the mob. We don't even need to worry about him. He's a piece of cake. But yeah, just in general, with this, you can ignore the big boys and you can just keep ripping all the mobs apart. That's the main thing. And if you really do get bothered by him, just use the dagger to break his stuff. And then him on his own is an absolute joke compared to Sharon. You go invisible and you can literally just jump him. You can run circles around him and just keep spraying him with your fourth and he will die very, very fast. You can see here, once my fourth kicks in, oh, took an L, happens. But even still, you can see here, just nuke him with your fourth ability and he will die like everything else. Fairly simple. Now, I did say if you are struggling with HP, make sure to replace Dangerous Ambush with an HP module. Increase HP or HP amplification is a good example of that. I myself just prefer not to play with one, so yeah, that's just me. But in general, you can see all this. It's simplistic, it's fun, and Sharon's cracked. And if you don't believe it, then you know you need to give this a little bit of a shot because it's definitely fun. You can see all the crits over here and stuff like that. Even this breach ball sack, 2 actual nukes when you stand next to it. Uh-oh, I got tapped out. I got tapped out. I'm cooked. But there you go. You can see just in general that this is a very, very capable setup. And just running around spamming her fourth ability whilst you're invisible can hit absolutely disgusting levels of crits with Sharon. Giga Small, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, boss. But yeah, you can see this, man. Sharon, just, I don't know what to tell you. It's a simple mobbing build that just does great levels of damage. She's just fun and she's just capable and she's absolutely a Descendant you want to invest in and play if you haven't already. She was already one of my favorites, and just with the range buff that she's gotten and for some reason the damage buff, she's just that much better inside of AXION. And I know that AXION is essentially the baseline for what most people want in a build now, and because this does work so well in AXION, I promise you this will absolutely nuke dungeons as well, so you don't need to worry about that. If it can take care of AXION, it can take care of basically anything in the game. So yeah, we're kind of at that point in the game now anyways. Okay, we'll be pulling up to the final boss now, so let's give this a sec. Hit him with a little bit of that, and now we're on the final boss. So this is where you basically just do the exact same thing with Sharon. You might want to start incorporating your first ability into the mix as well. But you can see here, two actual nukes from Sharon while she's invisible is enough to delete this man. There you go. Then you can start nutting on him as well if you want. Throwing nuts on him is a good call too. But basically you just want to go up to him and then destroy the yellow thing on his head. And after that's destroyed, he's going to be a piece of cake. There you go, just like that. And now he's just going to die really fast. So you can just do that. Job done. And yeah, Sharon gameplay. In 4.5 minutes, even including a death to take away from that death count, time counter, you can hit very good gameplay with Sharon. She's a lot of fun. So now let me show you the second setup with Sharon. So with the second setup with Sharon, there's only a few changes with it. The main thing is that you are changing from Slayer set to Dimension Destroyer set. Now, I know you're confused, but bear with me. I promise you, this setup is fun. So you change to Dimension Destroyer set. Ideally, you want the exact same rolls as the Slayer set. And then you change to Death by 1,000 Cuts. That's basically it. If you're struggling with HP, again, just change Dangerous Ambush over to HP Amplification or Increase HP. But this is what you're going to want to go with. Death by 1,000 Cuts with this is really good too. So let me show you this variant of Sharon as well. I'm not going to run the entire mission because of course that would just be too long. But I'll just give you a quick representation of what this does with Sharon. I promise you, it's more fun than what you'd expect. You can see this over here, right? You just start hitting them. And then once you start looking around, you'll see that the Wall Crasher purple balls start dropping. And then on top of that, you get the dimension effect as well. So you're going to see the white lights or the thunder striking as well with this too. And even with that, it still works. The damage is still there. And it's a different way to play Sharon. But it's also quite a lot of fun. Especially looking out for the dimension balls and 1,000 cuts of death at the same time. It's another really good way to play Sharon. But this is a secondary opposed to the Slayer set and the main DPS setup because I have a lot more fun just ripping everything apart with that. But this setup is something you don't want to be sleeping on either, guys. It's still another really top tier setup. It's a lot of fun because, you know, you just get funny purple balls dropping and lightning strikes in the sky. Top tier stuff, basically. But yeah, that's basically everything with Sharon. I'll quickly take care of this dude, and then, yeah, then we'll call it there, because that I've shown everything that I need to. So let's quickly abort mission. But yeah, that's basically everything with Sharon for today. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.